Hello everyone! So I've had a few people in my comments asking how is my adenomyosis doing, and especially after I've had my son. So in case you haven't watched my other video on adenomyosis, I'll just give you a quick brief overview now. It basically is when endometrial-like tissue grows inside the lining of the uterus. And the uterus is like a muscle, so as that endometrial tissue grows inside the uterus, it degrades the uterus and it makes it harder for the uterus to carry a pregnancy. It can lead to a lot of fertility issues. It can also cause very painful periods and lots of bleeding and a lot of other symptoms. So you can do a quick Google search if you want. It's an awful condition. Some people have it worse than me, some people have it better. And my message to you guys is to take your health seriously. And if you're getting any kind of pain with your periods, that's actually not normal at all, especially if it's debilitating pain, it's affecting your everyday life. Try and find a specialist that actually knows about these conditions, endometriosis and adenomyosis. I'll link some resources down below. Nancy's Nook is a good resource. That's enough of a ramble. Let's get into the video. So since filming my previous adenomyosis video, I got the advice from my doctor to have a baby, and we ended up following that advice and I gave birth to a healthy baby boy. We were quite lucky falling pregnant with him when we did. I did a lot of basal body temperature tracking and that sort of helped us out with conceiving. Since having him, I was actually quite stressed about when I would get my periods and what they would feel like after birth. I ended up having an emergency C-section, which I also talked about in my birth video, which I'll link down below as well if you want to live the trauma with me. During that whole emergency C-section process, I got really scared because I didn't want that to be a part of my birth plan at all. And I didn't know how a C-section would affect my uterus and my condition. There's really not a lot of research about it. I tried researching. I couldn't find anything about C-sections relating to adenomyosis. It was just all unknown. Is it gonna be better or worse for me? Anyway, it didn't matter. I didn't get a choice. It was an emergency. His heart rate was dropping and I ended up getting my period back at 10 months. And when I got it, I was like, oh my God, here we go. I'm so stressed out. When's the pain gonna kick in? And it never did. It was maybe a 1 out of 10. I could notice a little bit of uncomfortable sensation, but it was basically nothing. It was I wasn't even having a period at all. I definitely was having a period, but because normally pain is such a big indicator for me, it was what is going on? This is great. Just to jump back a little bit, my specialist had me do a specialized ultrasound that looks for adenomyosis. Only a few select special people who've been trained up can do and perform that ultrasound. So he got me to see this lady who was really great and diagnosed me. Well, they both diagnosed me. I went back and saw her 6 months postpartum and she did the ultrasound. And my previous ultrasound with her when I got diagnosed with adenomyosis, my uterus volume was at 80 mils, which is apparently double the size of a normal uterus, which is quite alarming and was quite alarming back then. 6 months postpartum, my uterus volume was about 50 and she was just ecstatic. I was ecstatic. We were like, oh, look, it's so small and normal looking. And it's doing everything perfectly. And she showed me the little incision line from my C-section. And she was saying it's healing nicely. Everything's looking good. The walls of the uterus are looking really small and nice. And there's no adenomyosis in there right now. And I was just shocked because I didn't know this would happen. And she explained to me, and I wish I knew beforehand, but I guess it put less pressure on the breastfeeding for me. But apparently breastfeeding is what gives you all of those good hormones that shrink down your uterus and basically don't allow the endometrial tissue to keep growing in your uterus. I can't remember which hormone it is, the one that grows the adenomyosis. I think it's estrogen. Just on a quick little Google search. So it's the estrogen that grows the endometriosis, adenomyosis, and the progesterone sort of shrinks it. I'm trying to do a quick little Google search as I'm talking to the camera and I can't find exactly what I want to find. So I'm not sure if it's the progesterone that shrinks it. You'll have to do your own Google search if you want to know the specifics. But something about the breastfeeding, it does something with your hormones where it just stops the growth and it shrinks everything down, which was amazing. So if you guys are watching my videos right now and you're like someone who suffers with adenomyosis, you might be pregnant, really give breastfeeding a go because it's going to help out your uterus. Obviously, if you can't do it, fed is best. Whatever works for you and your family is best for you. So don't take my advice, but just be aware that breastfeeding can actually be really helpful. I did not know that. And I'm just so grateful that like breastfeeding worked out for me and my son because it's quite a journey. Let me tell you that breastfeeding was not easy. Not easy at the start. It got easier as I went along. And then fast forward from 10 months on, I think for the first few months after being 10 months postpartum and getting my period back, the periods were very light and not very painful at all. But after a few months, they started like going up a level in pain each time. And I was starting to get a bit stressed. I'm like, oh no, it's happening again. A year postpartum, I had another scan because my specialist likes to do like every 6 months to check in and see how it's going because he says adenomyosis is such a volatile condition. You never know when everything's just going to ramp up again. There's just no time limit on it because I asked him so many times, like, can you tell me when it's going to come back? He really couldn't tell me, like, it's just individual. So at 1 year postpartum, I went back and saw her for another scan. I was shocked again because unfortunately my uterus volume was now a 100 mils. That was worse than when I first had my scan that diagnosed me with adenomyosis, where my uterus was 80 mils. Now it's 100 mils. And the periods weren't even that painful yet. The uterus is very big and bulky, and you can see it on the scan. And she was saying, don't stress out too much because your uterus normally gets bigger after you've had a baby, and you started at like 80 mils. Now you're at 100, like that could be normal. And she was saying that she wasn't seeing any adenomyosis in my uterus. And then I spoke to my specialist and he was saying he wasn't quite as optimistic as her. He was saying, like, even though it didn't show up on the scan, like it can be really hard to pick up on the scan, even when you have a specialist looking for it. He was saying, like, it's definitely there again. They're going to have to play it by ear based on your pain. And with my condition and health and everything, like, I can't personally have hormonal birth control, which can like help slow the progression, especially like the Mirena, I think is like the number one hormonal birth control they put people on. I've had the Mirena for 1 week. It did not work for me, but that's another story. But he was saying like if I'm really desperate, I could maybe try the Kyleena, which is a lower dose from the Mirena. He was saying like based on the hormones, the Mirena might just tip you over the edge, but like the Kyleena, because it's like a lower dose, may not tip you over the edge. It may like work better for your system and your body. And the Kyleena is new for people in Australia. That wasn't available to me when I first had my Mirena. Anyway, so the advice was, let's play it by ear. Let's see how your pain goes. And I was like getting stressed again. I'm like, oh my God, do I have to have another baby soon? At that point, my son was only a year old, so I wasn't really thinking I want to have another baby yet. But also like beforehand, I wasn't sure if I wanted to have another baby at that point either. So I was kind of like, we obviously want at least 2 kids. So if I got to do what I got to do, I'll do it. Not long after getting that ultrasound and seeing my specialist, the pain really ramped up. So this is what I'm saying with like the condition can be so unpredictable. The pain went up to like a 3 out of 10, and the next one was like a 4 out of 10, and then the next one was like a 5 out of 10, and the next one was a 6 out of 10. I'm like, oh my God, this is not good. And so when I saw him, he said like when the pain starts to ramp up, like maybe you would want to conceive again. That was sort of like what me and my partner Ryan were thinking, that like if the pain starts to ramp up, we would conceive again. Like I kind of wanted like a level out of 10 or something to look out for. Like if it hits a 5 or a 6, then let's jump on this. So I tried to call his officers and like he eventually got back to me. We're playing like phone tag Tiggy or whatever it is. Yeah, so once we got a hold of each other, we were talking and he said like, hopefully you can cancel your future appointment with me because you'll be pregnant, and to start trying basically because the pain's ramping up again and it's just not worth it, like letting my uterus get so bad where I might not be able to conceive again. So yeah, so I don't know when I'm going to release this video But basically, we started trying and luckily we are pregnant again. So this is the update. I don't know when I'm going to release this video because obviously I don't want to announce my pregnancy just yet. It's still early days. I'm only 5 weeks, which is very exciting. Yeah, basically the adenomyosis update is periods definitely starting to amp up again. They never got like that really debilitating level that I had before having my son. My periods were quite bad then. It was like vomiting, can't sleep, painkillers starting to not work as much. This time around, painkillers were working and it was just like slowly creeping up, and I could tell like it was going to get pretty bad pretty soon. So I'm very lucky to have fallen pregnant again. Another thing is I'm still breastfeeding my son. So I'm trying to like stop breastfeeding him now so that my body can just like concentrate on this pregnancy and nourish the pregnancy. But yeah, like I'm quite sad to like say goodbye to that little breastfeeding journey me and my son had, because I feel like it's so special and it was hard getting there at the start, but it really does give you like this such nice emotions and like that oxytocin. I always say to Ryan, like, I just like to sit. So like in the morning when I get him up, I can just sit for a little bit and that's nice. And I can wake up myself. That's the feed that I haven't dropped yet. I've dropped the night feed. We're only doing 2 a day. We're doing morning and night. And I've recently dropped the night and now I'm going to have to drop the morning and it's time. So yeah. And like breastfeeding's just helped me out so much. As I said before, I kept my period gone for like 10 months. Obviously I was very lucky as well to have like a 10-month gap with no period. It was amazing. And then to be pregnant and not have a period was amazing. Birth was not amazing. It's like a catch-22, isn't it? You don't get a period for a bit, but then you have to give birth. So yeah, we're just like super happy to be pregnant again. I don't know what I'll do after this pregnancy. Obviously, I'll breastfeed again, and just help my uterus shrink back down. And then after that, maybe I'll try the Kyleena or something. I've sort of been thinking about it more. I'm like, oh, would I try that Kyleena? But then I mean, like the Mirena really affected me quite badly, like mentally. So I'm also like, oh, I need to be in good mental health for my children. But yeah, like I wish all of you guys luck on your own health journeys. If you have adenomyosis, I'm sending so much love to you. And I hope that you are going all right with it and you have a doctor and a healthcare team that listen to you and, you know, are just helping you through it, you know, and join Facebook support groups and all that stuff. Unless like it's like too overwhelming, you just don't want to be bombarded all the time. I've had to like mute a few groups because of that. I've joined a few Facebook groups and they've really helped me out too. You just don't feel as alone. Really hope you guys are going well and I love you all so much. Big love to all you guys. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.